This is Martlesham Wilds, Suffolk Wildlife Trust's new reserve on the River Deben. Suffolk Wildlife Trust is the county's leading conservation charity. We manage over 50 nature reserves spread throughout the county. Our reserve holding is large, with several thousand hectares of land now being managed. But we also do engagement activity, going into schools, talking to school groups.
So Martlesham Wilds are in Suffolk, very close to the most eastern point of the country. It's the most beautiful remote location when you're here, but actually we're just a couple of miles down the road from people in Woodbridge, people in Martlesham, even in Ipswich.
We've got a really, really beautiful view over towards Woodbridge. We've got the fields and we've got the grazing marsh, you've got quite mature copse, and then you've got Woodbridge in the distance. What we're really excited about is seeing how the process is going to develop, what's going to move in, and obviously the first stages is going to be grassland and the beginnings of scrub developing.
It's just the beginning. So it really is a place for imaginations to run wild, for nature to just take over and wow us.
Yes, we need farmland, but farming needs nature, and we need both, and this is a place where nature needs to reign supreme, I think.
The whole process is going to be really exciting. Right from the very early beginnings of scrub starting to encroach out of hedgerows and come in, to just us being able to record what's coming in and see how the site changes. It's going to be such an important biodiversity area for the local Suffolk landscape. It's incredibly wild looking. You've got this just beautiful backdrop and vista, and so much opportunity, which is the really exciting thing. With all the trees here, we've got some really lovely native species of tree in the hedgerows and tree lines here. Everything about an estuary habitat and its margins just off the estuary edge is all about biodiversity. We'll be adding a load of wetland scrapes in this general area here to enhance so much more this integration with the estuary and the birds that are using the estuary. So there's going to be a lot of earth that's going to be moved from here under contract with 360 excavators. There's a lot of transportation time and effort with track dumpers to do that sort of work. And then we'll be putting in a lot of foot drains, which are really critical for breeding waders species such as lapwing and redshank. They want these muddy fringes all through the spring and early summer to still support those tiny little flies that the wader chicks are feeding on, and we need to be able to hold that water level up. So the sluice control structures we'll be putting in over this section.
And this is important on the River Deben because it's the only area of freshwater grazing marsh on the River Deben.
There's no real wetland nature reserve immediately adjoining the Deben estuary. So here, we're leaving the grazing marsh lowland here, and you can actually start seeing the existing arable areas, which this I think is going to be the biggest transformational change. Thinking about how this landscape right now, which is so uniform and homogeneous, is going to become incredibly diverse through the use of conservation grazing. One of the first things we really need to look into is getting these large areas fenced with proper livestock fencing. Put a project brief forward with 5 large enclosures. So that enables us to have control over the grazing pressure in any one large area. So the design of the fencing would enable us to interlink those compartments to just run animals from one site to another around the reserve. So there's a significant amount of capital work for fencing this site. Really important that we use the right materials, I think. So using sweet chestnut posts and high tensile wire to keep large herbivores in is good, strong material, but at the end of its long life, we then have a product where all the wood that's used is completely recyclable. The conservation grazing that we're envisaging will be very low intensity grazing. It's much more a case of bringing animals in to just prevent, say, like a scrubby habitat developing in a uniform age structure. That's the delight of a site like this, that whatever we create, the uptake is going to be enormous because the demand is going to be there. We could look at sort of between 15 and 20,000 birds on the estuary in the winter months. What we've acquired here isn't like a scrappy old bit of land. It's a wonderful baseline to start a nature reserve project plan.
If you're into nature, you live in Suffolk, we're the local nature charity. We do stuff on your doorstep, and it's there for you to enjoy and be part of.